What's up, everybody? This is Avalo here, and I'm bringing you my first Spellbreak video. This is going to be a tutorial video for anyone that wants to learn the game, and the basics of the game. Like, this is going to be the very bare-bone basics for, you know, what to do, gauntlets, ruins, belts, boots. And, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it. This game is amazing. And I've been playing since June 2018. I found out about this game from Reddit, from one of those Reddit ads. When I was... Interestingly enough, short little backstory before I get into the actual tutorial here, but I found out about this amazing game in June 2018 when I had been banned from Twitch for a month for some nonsense that, you know, not even going to get into that. But while I was banned, I had nothing to do. I was, you know... I'm primarily a StarCraft streamer, and hopefully now a Spellbreak streamer as well when this is off NDA. And so, what was I to do? It was kind of depressing to play StarCraft while I was banned, since that's my main game. I couldn't stream. I found out about this game, and then I basically fucking fell in love with this game. And, yeah, so here we are. So, that's how I found out about this game, and I kept playing it because, like, I got addicted to it, because I'm like, whoa. This game has a lot of sick gameplay things that are a lot of replay value, a lot of variability. Every game is different, but every game is the same but different, and that's what attracted me. Like, I'm talking up the game, and I'm not even sponsored. You know, if Spellbreak devs want to sponsor me, that's great. You know, give me that sick esports money. But I like the game so much. That's why I've been talking up this game since June 2018 for months, almost. Well, not quite a year, but I've been hyping up this game and talking about it for so long because it is that the Proletariat devs came up with something amazing and gorgeous in terms of gameplay. It reminds me, so it gives me the same feeling of playing StarCraft. Easy to learn, difficult to master, a lot of very different things. You can play the game there's the other thing that's so great about this, guys, is there's many different ways to play the game. It's a battle royale game. But it's almost like a fighting game. It's not quite like Fortnite or any other game that I've seen before because it's not an arena. It's not an arena fighter. It's not like a fighting game, but it's a battle royale. And Proletariat has called, you know, in the past they've called this game a RPG battle royale because it kind of has, you know, the elements of like a role-playing game, especially with picking classes, which I will go over. These not in depth in this video, but in another video I'll go into the classes more in depth. In this video, I just want you guys, I'm going to teach you the bare basics so that before you even load up the game, for anyone that gets in the, because the game is going to be in closed alpha now, you guys will have all of the basics of, you know, what to do before you even play the game. So yeah, first of all, so it's a battle royale game. There's no guns. There's no weapons like that. What do you fight with? You fight with these gauntlets. I don't know if the devs came up with this from like the Infinity Gauntlets or whatever. I don't know what the story is there, but you fight in this game with elemental gauntlets. It's elemental mage combat, essentially. So you're fighting with poison, lightning, fire, ice, wind, and stone and rock. Earth. And the beautiful thing is, what the devs have come up here with this amazing gameplay is there's basic attacks for each gauntlet. So, for example, if you notice in the bottom left-hand corner, it's showing 2 gauntlets that I just picked up. I picked up a lightning gauntlet in my left hand, and if you use the mouse 1 button, left click in this case, it shoots out the lightning auto attack. I call them auto attacks. Not sure what the exact name given by the developers is, but I just call them the auto attack of each gauntlet is the basic attack or the auto attack. So, and every attack takes mana. You'll notice above my health bar and the bottom center of the screen, the red bar is your health bar. You have 100 health, and then you have 100 mana. And every attack you do with the gauntlet takes up some mana. So, as I attack more and more, when you run out of mana, I like to call this getting mana burned. So if you drain your mana bar, if you keep attacking, you get mana burned. If you attack a couple times and then stop, your mana bar will refill, and then you can keep attacking. So there's a little bit of there's some decision making in a game on whether you just want to literally unload everything and, you know, mana burn yourself like this. So then there's a slight recharge time, and so the way rarities work in this game on Gauntlets is, the higher the rarity, the less mana it takes for attacks and things of that nature. And also obviously you get more damage. You know, the higher the rarity. So epic, legendary, and whatnot give you more damage per auto attack. So yeah, this is the lightning auto attack, and then we have a poison auto attack, and then the beautiful thing about this game is the different combinations of what all of these things do together and how you can fight somebody and how they interact. So for example, you throw down a bunch of poison puddles, and if somebody walks over them, you take damage. So you can see I'm taking damage there from the poison puddle. I don't know if I can kill myself in the tutorial. And if you the toxic gauntlet, it's actually called the toxic gauntlet, but the auto attack is like a shotgun. It does a lot of damage up close. So this is kind of like the shot. It's like the equivalent of a shotgun in Fortnite or in another game. It's very good close range, very bad long range because you can see the massive spread. But for example, so you can electrify that, and then if somebody walks into it, then they get stunned. So if you walk over an electrified poison puddle, you actually will get stunned for about a second and a half. So there are different ways that every element interacts. And obviously the lightning auto attack just shoots out like 3 lightning bolts essentially. I hope I don't have the volume too loud in this video. We'll see. Anyways. Let me adjust. You know what? Let me try it. Let me turn down the audio a little bit. Hopefully that's not mega loud. Anyways, so every gauntlet you pick up has an auto attack. There's lightning, poison. I'll just show you all of them just for the sake of the video. The wind gauntlet auto attack shoots out wind shears. Although this one, the big thing with wind gauntlet is if you point it at the ground and then jump, you actually jump up in the air. So that's very useful for mobility, and if you time it, you can actually pretty much stay in the air the whole time, which is pretty cool and very good. The Earth Gauntlet, the Stone Gauntlet, I think Epic Stone, so it's called Stone, shoots out an auto attack that is AoE and goes in a line. This is probably the strongest auto attack in the game. And then we have the Fire Gauntlet, which shoots out a fireball. So it's almost a little bit like a rocket launcher. Like, you can aim it and it does a little bit of AoE. If the fireball hits directly, it does more damage. And then of course the last one here is the Frost Gauntlet, which lets you charge up an attack. It's like a sniper rifle, so the longer you hold it, the more damage it'll do. And yeah, you can snipe people with this, and it creates trails of ice. And again, there's a lot of, you're gonna see, like, as I make more videos, and as you guys play around with the game, you'll see all these different elemental interactions and what you can do with this. So, let's just go over, let's do a couple here. So, let's use the Lightning Gauntlet. Also, to open your inventory, you press the Tab key, all that stuff you can change in the menus. But that's the basics. You got your gauntlets, they each do different things. And then I think I'll save elemental interactions for the next video. I won't go over those too much in this one. So that's how you attack and kill people. You loot, you find these gauntlets, and you use them to kill your opponents. Oh! So, and the second thing about gauntlets, obviously, is your sorceries. So what's a sorcery? Every gauntlet has a secondary, you could call it an ultimate ability. They're called sorceries. But basically, if you press Q, in this case for me, on the Lightning Gauntlet, it'll create a lightning storm, which does area of effect, and will stun the person inside. And of course, the Stone Gauntlet, the secondary, is you throw a gigantic boulder, which does more damage the bigger it gets. It gets to a certain size, and then it won't grow anymore. But basically, yeah, that's the very. It's kind of like a grenade almost in typical FPS games. So using these things, combining them, I'll put Earth through the lightning storm there. So this is how you fight in the game using the different gauntlets. I'll just go over the other ones real quickly, just so you guys can see what the other sorceries are here. And it's a lot to remember and a lot to learn when you first start playing the game. But that's kind of the nice thing, is there's a little bit of a knowledge thing. That's why I was saying this is so much like StarCraft, in that there's so many combinations and things to learn and get better at. You can, like, that's one of the things that kept me playing the game and being very attracted to the game, is you can feel yourself improving at the game. Like, you will get better at the game. So if you play good and you keep improving, you'll get better. So the ice one creates a blizzard around yourself and a lot of ice, and that'll freeze anyone that's around you. And then the fire one creates a wall of flames, and it's not a big deal, that one, but if you shoot an earth auto attack through it, then it'll extend the fire. So that's pretty much what that one is used for. It also the fire one also will, if I swap to it blocks ice shots. So if somebody's trying to snipe you, the flames will take up a sniper shot from anyone using ice. So again, there's a lot of stuff to learn. Anyways, what am I missing here? The wind one will create a, what's it called? It'll create a, basically a whirlwind. I think, I almost have them. Which one am I missing here? Which one did I just not go? Poison. Forgot that one. Whoops. Alright, so let's get to the poison and the wind, and then I will move on to the next thing here. Hopefully this video is hopefully this video is at least 10 minutes, I suppose. So the poison one throws a poison cloud, which can then be detonated with fire to create dragon fire. You can electrocute it to create a stun, kind of like with the ice. And then the wind gauntlet creates a whirlwind, which will drag people towards the center and do damage, and can also be toxified, electrified, and all sorts of things. So there you go. So there are the gauntlets. You'll have to learn all that stuff. Let's move on to ruins. So ruins, there's gauntlets, there's ruins, there's belts, there's boots, and there's amulets. Ruins are the second thing that you basically fight with, that enhances your fighting, like your direct fighting capability. That's not really passive. Like, so for example, this ruin I just picked up is the Wolfblood Ruin, and basically is a wall hack. It lets you see where people are. If there's anyone within a certain area around you, you use it, it creates the wolf sound, and then you would, like, if there's somebody behind this wall, you would see their outline. So that's pretty cool. And I'm not saying these are balanced. Some of these are I'm just gonna go right into the most overpowered ruin in the game. Arguable, but I think most veteran players would agree with me. So, Blink. Massive mobility. So, the Blink Ruin has 3 charges by default, which is kind of crazy. But this is basically the strongest ruin in the game right now. You can do things like Wind Hop, Blink, Wind Hop again, Blink down, attack. Like, you can blink up, you can blink up, or jump up, blink up, and hold your sorcery. Another thing I forgot to mention is, when you attack in the air in this game, you hover. And the developers added that. God knows why. I disagreed with it for a long time, but you know, it's still in the game. So basically, if you attack while in the air, you basically stay in the air. Like, you hover in the air a bit. Just something to keep in mind. So sometimes that leaves you vulnerable. But that's also why Blink is so... That's also kind of why Blink is so OP, because you jump up, you can attack, blink, blink. So that kind of gets rid of the... that kind of gets rid of the downside of being stuck in place when you attack. So that's why It's pretty much the most used rune right now. You jump up, attack, blink, attack, jump up, attack, blink, attack, blink, and so yeah, there's a lot of this rune basically mass mobility. Alright, so the next one, let's go to Shadow Step. I wish these things didn't have a cooldown in practice mode, but they do. Might have to give some feedback to the devs here on this, make these 0 cooldown in practice mode. Anyways, this is Shadow Step, so what it does is the same thing as Blink. It goes slightly a further distance, but you're invisible. Then you're invisible for basically 3 seconds after you use it, and that can let you reposition. That can win you a fight. Just one Shadow Step alone could win you a fight where you just avoid somebody's AoE abilities and then reposition and kill them. So again, lets you blink up and then you go invisible. And there is invisibility in this game, guys, and it is actually it's kind of like it being a Dark Templar in StarCraft. It's very similar. So let's go to the Flight Rune, which apparently this tutorial I'm giving you guys, these runes, something. That's the other reason why Blink is so good right now. It's the lowest cooldown rune. All these other runes have insanely high cooldowns. Yeah. Anyways, this is the Flight Rune, and it does exactly as it says. It lets you fly in the air. You can direct it. You can cancel it if you attack, and things of that nature. Mostly good for escaping or rotating to the next circle in the map. So let's go to Chronomaster here. And there are also potions in this game. I don't think there are any laying around here in the little starting area. But there are potions that heal you. What is this? Oh, class reset. Oh, skill points. We'll go over those in another video. So this is the Chrono Ruin. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attack myself and damage myself and then use the Chronomaster Ruin. So I went down to 18 health, use Chronomaster, and what it does is it restores you back to your previous health and, you know, armor values that you were, as long as you don't take damage, if I remember correctly. So rewind time 4 seconds and instantly you also go back to your previous location. Your HP and armor will return to their previous values over 4 seconds if uninterrupted. So if you don't attack or if no one attacks you or you get hit, it's questionable the strength of that, but that's what that is. And then there is Teleportation, which they nerfed this in the last patch in the pre-alpha. The Teleportation rune was actually nerfed. But it used to be the second strongest rune in the game. It's still strong, but there are things in the game that let you get 3 charges of this. And so basically what it does is you target it like this. You can... The R key is what you use for your runes, unless you change it. Target it. And then it teleports you a distance. Might not seem too powerful, but it is very powerful for repositioning, avoiding stuff, rotating to the next circle, getting to the next circle, in the zone, out of the zone. It's very powerful for that. And if you have a belt that gives you 3 charges, you can do this 2 or 3 times in a row. It's very, very strong. That's why they nerfed it, because you could basically go across the whole map for free. So, really strong rune. Second strongest after Blink, I would say. And then this one is my own personal favorite, which has won me hundreds of games. It's a little bit underpowered, but that doesn't really matter for showing you guys what it does. It's the Invisibility Rune, and it does exactly as its name says. And this is different from Shadow Step because, unfortunately, it's a decent cooldown, and you'll go invisible. You still have an outline, so your opponent can track you. You're like a Dark Templar in StarCraft 2, basically. And, yeah, they can see the blur. They can see you. But that, you know, the most important thing about this rune, or the reason why I use it a lot, and it's so good, or it could be so good if there were maybe a couple tweaks to it. Compared to Blink, it's not good, but it cancels your footsteps, so you don't make footsteps. So there are ways that you can get the jump on people with the invisibility rune that you might not otherwise be able to get. And then the final rune we got here is the Featherfall rune. And you'll notice all these go in your inventory, so you can drop them, you can pick them up. Same thing with gauntlets, and you can switch back and forth between different gauntlets. So you can actually use more than 2 gauntlets. All of the good players, all the pros use more than 2. Most people use 3. You can use 4 if you're really crazy. But yeah, you can switch between gauntlets. The only thing is, if you switch, you lose the cooldown on your on your sorcery. So if you like, right now I can use the flame wall, but if I switch to my earth gauntlet, and switch back, I don't have that cooldown now. You have to wait again. So there is some decision making there. Anyways, last rune is Featherfall. Makes you go up in the air. And this rune you only use this rune basically if you picked it up and you didn't have anything else. It's kind of good, but it also makes it so easy to target you and kill you. Pretty much no good player uses this over Blink or Shadow Step because, you know, you're in the air, you're sitting duck basically. Like, who is going to use that when instead you can just go vertically with Blink anyways? So, you know, there are some balance things here that I think the devs still have to work on, but overall, so those are all the runes that I just went through, and there's various amulets in the game, boots, and belts that give you different capabilities. For example, I guess I'll show off one. For example, the Belt of Runic Fluency gives you an extra 2 charges on runes. So, for example, that invisibility rune that I just had, you'll be able to hold 3 charges of that. So, this belt is really, really powerful. That's why it's a legendary belt. So you can see the cooldown there on the invisibility in the bottom left. I have 1 charge if I use this, and then, you know. Also, if you drop a rune while you used it, you will come out of invisibility. And what was that? Oh, so yeah, I'll demonstrate one of the, so for example, one of the boots, if they're here. Apparently there are no boots here. Alright, never mind. Alright, that'll be another video. Anyways, there you go, guys. So, those are the gauntlets. Gauntlets, runes, and whatnot. So, I hope this is helpful. Get you started in the game. In my next video, I'll go over the different elemental interactions. For example, fire into a whirlwind. Makes it do a little bit of extra damage if you walk in it. And, yeah. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.